Before his death in 2011, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs set out to create one of the most futuristic buildings ever created in the form of a company campus in Cupertino, California. Now, a new flyover of Apple's mothership reveals the massive $5 billion campus 2 is nearly complete. The incredible drone images also reveal the astonishing attention to detail of the site, from the arrangement of electrical wiring to the finish of the hidden pipe. No aspect of the 2.8 million square foot main building has been too small to attract scrutiny. Apple hopes that the campus will be finished by spring this year. Since Apple unveiled its plans in 2011, the move-in date has slowly receded. Jobs' initial projection was 2015, but this spring now seems most likely, according to people involved in the project. More than $1 billion was allocated for the interior of the main building alone, according to a former construction manager. The campus is something of an exception to the trend of radically open offices aimed at fostering collaboration, said Luis Mozingo, a professor and chair of the Department of Landscape Architecture and Environmental Planning at University of California, Berkeley. Its central office building, a massive ring of glass frequently likened to a spaceship, could be a challenge just to navigate. She noted, "It's not about maximizing the productivity of the office space, it's about creating a symbolic center for this global company," she said. "They are creating an icon." An Apple spokeswoman declined to comment. Technology companies have long favored generic office parks, but the Apple Campus 2 marks a new chapter in Silicon Valley architecture. When completed, the campus will house up to 14,200 employees, according to the 2013 project description. The main building, which boasts the world's largest piece of curved glass, will be surrounded by a lush canopy of thousands of trees. Little remains from the cement-laden campus Apple acquired from Hewlett-Packard, though the iPhone maker preserved a century-old barn that remained intact. But what was most striking to those who worked on the project was Apple managers' insistence on treating the construction of the vast complex the same way they approached the design of pocket-sized electronics. Apple's in-house construction team enforced many rules, including no vents or pipes could be reflected in the glass, and guidelines for the special wood used frequently throughout the building ran to some 30 pages. The company's keen design sense enhanced the project, but its expectations sometimes clashed with construction realities, a former architect said. "With phones, you can build to very, very minute tolerances," he said. "You would never design to that level of tolerance on a building. Your doors would jam." Apple's novel approach to the building took many forms. Architect German de la Tour, who worked on the project, found many of the proportions, such as the curve of a rounded corner, came from Apple's products. The elevator button struck some workers as resembling the iPhone's home button. One former manager even likened the toilet's sleek design to the device. But Emer de la Tour ultimately saw that Apple executives were not trying to evoke the iPhone per se, but rather following something akin to the Platonic ideal of form and dimension. "They have arrived at design principles somehow through many years of experimentation, and they are faithful to those principles," Emer de la Tour said. Early in construction, Apple managers told the construction team that the ceiling, composed of large panels of polished concrete, should be immaculate inside and out, just as the inside of the iPhone's audio jack is a finished product," a former construction manager recalled. Each of the thousands of ceiling panels had to win approval from both Apple's in-house team and the general contractor, once at the shop and then again at the construction site. "The things you can't see, they all matter to Apple," the former construction manager said. "One of the most vexing features was the doorways, which Apple wanted to be perfectly flat with no threshold. The construction team pushed back, but Apple held firm. We spent months trying not to do that because that's time, money and stuff that's never been done before," the former construction manager said. Signage also required a delicate balancing act, as Apple wanted all signs to reflect its sleek, minimalist aesthetic, but the fire department needed to ensure the building could be swiftly navigated in an emergency.